Is Tulum safe? Well, the answer to that could be yes, and at times, maybe not. But it really does just depend on numerous factors. And after watching this video, you will be well informed with tips needed to reduce the odds of anything happening to ruin your Tulum vacation. But let's be honest, after watching this video, admittedly, you might just feel like never stepping foot in Tulum. It could make it look like your days will be filled with nothing but horrible events. So I just want to equally emphasize, I have been visiting Tulum for over 2 decades, and since 2020 I've been to Tulum 1 to 2 times per year and always staying for several weeks at a time. And I personally have never had an issue or felt unsafe in Tulum. We have always enjoyed our time there apart from maybe the annoyance of an overpriced taxi. But we also always adhere to the things we are about to cover in this video. Because like many places in the US, Europe, and elsewhere in the world, things can go badly from time to time. Sadly, violence does happen. And while Tulum has historically been as safe as any other popular tourist destination or major city, meaning if you exercise common sense practices and awareness, you are likely to be fine, one cannot ignore that in recent years there have been some serious situations related to shootings and deaths in Tulum. We have also made a brief video covering this in more detail, which you can watch here. In this video, we will be covering the things you can do to ensure you have the safest trip possible. Our first recommendation may seem obvious to many, but given the situation, it bears repeating. Stay clear of drugs, as buying them will put you in direct contact with the cartel and the people who work for them. And that also includes buying and using cannabis. While it may technically be legal in Mexico, the police are not currently treating it that way, and you will either be arrested or asked to pay a sizable bribe to avoid being arrested. Plus, let's be honest, anyone buying drugs is feeding the whole reason there is a cartel and shooting problem to begin with. But depending on where you are hanging out, it is still possible someone may ask you if you'd like to buy them. So just ignore them or offer a calm no as you continue on your way, and there will be no problem. You can also avoid certain businesses due to their reputation of allowing drug dealers to solicit their customers on a regular basis. These businesses include Rosa Negra, Taboo, and Tantra. Many people even say their kids have been offered drugs when walking to the bathroom in the upscale restaurant of Rosa Negra. No matter where you go, when drinking, be aware of your drink, since drink spiking in clubs and beach clubs does occasionally happen. Always purchase your drink straight from a bartender, and alcohol directly from a liquor store. Never accept it from a stranger. Don't get so drunk that you lose situational awareness. In general, be aware of your surroundings. Not in a paranoid way, but in a common sense way. Next, there is some debate about carrying original versus photocopied identification when you are away from your room. Obviously, you will need your original passport to fly, clear Mexican immigration, exchange money, and even when checking into some hotels. What is in dispute is how best to handle identification after that. Are you legally required to carry your original passport at all times? And how could this issue affect your safety? Well, first, the legal question. As you can see from this U.S. Embassy notice in 2021, you are technically required to carry your original passport at all times. At the time this alert was issued, the Mexican government was cracking down on foreigners overstaying their tourist visas, especially the expats living in Tulum and the Maya Riviera. For a period of time, they were stopping numerous tourists asking to see their official identification and travel-related documents. If you did not have them, you could be detained. But since then, this issue has relaxed again. And most people are back to being more concerned about losing their original passport than this immigration issue. So they are choosing to leave their original passport in a secure place and only carry a photocopy when they leave their accommodations. But the U.S. Embassy warning to carry the original is still technically in effect. so you have to decide for yourself. Note, if you are renting a vehicle, you will be required to carry and show a valid original driver's license at all times when you are driving. Speaking of car rentals though, we recommend you do not rent a car. The second largest complaint in Tulum is related to car rental scams, whether it's with the car rental company, the gas station, or the police. So as annoying as the overpriced taxis can be, we personally feel it's worth the cost just to avoid all the other potential car rental headaches. Again, for every person that rents a car and ends up dealing with these headaches, many never have a problem. However, we still strongly recommend you avoid a rental car if you want to greatly reduce the chances of hassles on your vacation. Just be aware, if you are walking after 11 p.m., there is a chance you may be questioned by the police. Please be sure to hide all extra cash since they have been known to take it when searching people. Again, consider taking a taxi even though the cost of a taxi can be more expensive at night. You can also watch our video on how to handle these kind of interactions with the police, including ways to report any theft or extortion. The same as it would not be recommended for a woman to take a taxi alone after dark in any other city or destination, we do not recommend it in Tulum either. And if you have no choice, try to use a recommended driver versus flagging a taxi down. To access more info on recommended drivers, our video with more details can be viewed here. We will put a link to it in the video description. Next, while it may also seem obvious to many, no one, male or female, should walk alone at night, especially on dark streets and roads, which there are plenty of in Tulum. So always walk with someone else or use the flashlight function on your phone, or take a taxi. When you are not using your phone, be sure it is in a secure place. Do not leave it unattended. The same thing applies when you are swimming. Make sure your valuables are not left out in the open or left unattended. Be sure to leave important documents and valuables at your accommodations, either in a safe or in your largest locked suitcase. Watch your belongings. The same as it can be an issue in other major tourist destinations, pickpocketing and petty theft can occasionally be a problem in excessively busy areas. If someone does try to take your stuff, just let them. It's not worth you being injured to save a phone or some money. But to reduce the odds of this ever even happening, try not to dress too flashy. Wearing overly flashy clothing and lots of jewelry could advertise the fact that you have stuff to steal. Don't have all your cash in your wallet at once. Instead, it's safer to carry smaller amounts at a time or just what you will need for the day. When you are paying for something, keep larger bills hidden so it cannot be seen by others. Or, as old-fashioned as it might sound, use a money belt if you need to carry large sums of money at one time. When using ATMs, pay attention to your surroundings. Again, not in a paranoid way, just in a common sense way. As with anywhere you travel, due to the risk of swipe card scams, it's always best to use an ATM inside a bank or grocery store versus one standing alone outside. We recommend the ATM inside the Chodrari grocery store. Unless using this ATM, we recommend not getting cash after dark. If you are going to take a taxi to the beach, be sure you have enough cash to get back later. There are no ATMs at the beach, and you do not want to be stranded and unable to get back to town safely. Note, the cost of returning from the beach increases the later it gets, so it will cost you more to return to town than it did to get to the beach, especially if you are returning after dark. These recommendations are not meant to create fear or paranoia. In addition to us never having had a problem in Tulum, thousands of other people have never had a problem either. Just pay attention to your surroundings and listen to your gut if something seems off or tells you to avoid a place or situation. There are plenty of wonderful places in Tulum, and we wish you a safe and enjoyable visit. For more information on where to stay, eat, and what to do in Tulum, stay tuned and subscribe to our channel.